Hello and welcome to the President's Corner. I'm Paul Hutchins, President at Sampson Community College, and today for this edition of the President's Corner, I'm fortunate to have with me our Director of Library Services, Donna Odum. Donna, welcome. Good to have you with me this afternoon.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, I look forward to talking with you a little bit about the great things that are happening at our library here on our campus. But I wanted to start by asking you to talk a little bit about your education and work background and how long you've been here at Sampson Community College.
Okay. Well, Dr. Hutchins, I actually have about 25 years of educational experience. I have started as a teacher, and then I got my degree in library science, so I was a librarian. I have experience also as a literacy coach and an administrator. So I have run the gamut of the educational roles in the public schools, and I feel like my primary goal is really, at heart, I'm a teacher. I want to help students to be successful, and that is one of the reasons I'm excited about this opportunity at Sampson Community College. This is my second year as Director of Library Services. I started last fall, so I'm learning a lot and really enjoying it here.
Okay, excellent. Well, now let me get you to talk a little bit about your role as the Director of Library Services. What is kind of the scope of your responsibilities, and if you could talk a little bit about your staff members and what their roles are to help support you in the library.
Okay. Basically, as Director of Library Services, I have a large range of responsibilities, from overseeing the day-to-day operations, making sure that the physical collection is appropriate, making sure that the budget is done, in a timely fashion and stayed on track with. I also plan, so I do a lot of planning. Again, the budget management piece. I attend a lot of meetings, planning and instructional meetings, so that I'm part of what is going on here at the campus. I actually do a lot of networking with teachers, with instructors, and I guess my primary role would probably be more of an advocate for the library. So I'm trying to really expand the role of the library and talk to teachers, talk to instructors, talk to all the classes, and try to get them to understand how we're here to help them. So I do a lot of those things. I depend a lot on my two co-workers. Shelley Riles is the Library Services Coordinator, and Carol McClam is the Library Technical Assistant. And they really take care of a lot of the day-to-day operations, so that, I just have to oversee that. So Shelley's primarily the one who takes the book orders, weeds the collection. Carol takes care of a lot of the technical aspects, a lot of the ordering, magazines, periodicals, newspapers, and those types of things.
Well, and you have a great team over there. Now, I want to get you to talk a little bit about how the library for college students has changed over the last 10 or 20 years. It's been a long time since I was in my undergrad and even doing post-grad work, but I know the libraries in community colleges have changed a lot. Can you talk a little bit about how they've changed and how that's kind of impacted students? Yes,
sir. I do know, back in the day there was seems like the library was more or less a collection of books. It was the stacks, so to speak, and I know now that we have a wider variety of content, a lot of new formats with the internet and the digital age. We're seeing more and more online classes, and the demand for online materials and databases and things like that. I do think that the goal of academic libraries has always been more or less to get knowledge in the hands of the people. I think the format has changed, but that mission is still the same. Like I said, we have moved more or less from large physical collections of materials to more information, and we are the curator of that information.
Do you think it's easier, that may be the wrong word, but easier for individuals to access those different kinds of informations more so than it would have been 10 or 20 years ago?
I definitely think so. I think, there is such a wide variety of available resources, and we are constantly seeking to increase that collection. And I know NC Live is one of our resources that we use, and it was designed to level the playing field for those of us in rural areas, so that we can provide the resources that a larger university might provide as well. I think there are over 60 subscription databases that are included in NC Live, and I do think that those are more readily available and accessible than 10 or 20 years ago.
Excellent.
So I think that presence, the online presence, has really increased.
Now, in addition to our Sampson Community College students and the early college high school, the library is also a resource for people in our community. Could you talk for just a moment, Donna, about how people that are not students here at Sampson are utilizing the resources at our library?
Yes, sir. I think many community members are surprised to know that they have access to our collection as well. As a matter of fact, my own parents have been quite surprised at that. My mother started coming out here. But we do have a lot of people that come in to use the computers from the community. We have a lot of people that just come in and browse the collection. They read the novels and they enjoy those. We also have people who are doing genealogy, so they're interested in finding out more about their roots, and they come in to do research about that. So I think the word is spreading that we are here for the community as well, and I think as word spreads about the resources that we have, we should get more community participation, but we do have quite a few community patrons.
Excellent. Now, I know a large part of the library about a year and a half ago was repurposed. We put some new furnishings in there and put up some glass walls and opened up an academic success center for students here at the college. Can you talk about what the mission or goal is of that success center, and how are students being helped by the academic success center?
Absolutely. That is I guess my baby, so to speak. I'm really excited about the Academic Success Center, and it is designed just like the name says. It's designed for academic success for all students, and we provide a lot of services, and I wanted to make sure I get them all, so I'm going to look at my brochure. The Academic Success Center, support for all students. I think many times people don't realize what's available, and we really are trying to spread the word. We're getting to all the ACA classes, all the beginning classes, but there's an open computer lab in the back, and we have a computer facilitator that works with students if they're having troubles. They can use that as long as they have their student ID. They get free copies, up to 10 copies a day. We have the availability of resetting passwords for Moodle, which is the online learning portal, and also for email and the Active Directory, so they can get their passwords reset. We're offering workshops, and one of the most underutilized, and yet the one I really want to advocate for, is the tutoring service. We do have professional tutors, which are instructors that are assigned to the lab, and they're available in writing Monday through Friday, math Monday through Thursday, and other subjects like biology, psychology as well. And those don't require appointments. You can just drop in, and I tell every student I come into contact with, please take advantage of it. It's a free tutoring service. You can get a teacher to look over your paper, to help you with your homework, to make sure you understand this concept. So the professional tutors are there, and there's a schedule posted, and that is in the lab and on the website as well. But in addition to the professional tutoring, there's a peer tutoring service. And peer tutors are more one-on-one. It's individualized instruction. Wanda Kinney is the facilitator for that in the Academic Success Center. And she matches the student with a peer. So if, let's say I needed help in math, I would go in there and fill out exactly the paperwork, which courses I'm having trouble with, what times am I available, and then Wanda Kinney would take that and match me with a peer tutor that's available for those courses at those times. And the good thing about the tutors are recommended by their instructors. They've been successful in those courses. So, it's good quality tutoring, and best of all, it's free. There's no reason, I tell every student, there's no reason you can't be successful here. We're trying to do everything we can to support you.
Well, and I know the times that I've gone over and visited the Academic Success Center to see what's happening there, it's just uplifting to see the students working hard and receiving help and doing the things that they need to do to kind of move forward and be successful as a student here at Sampson's Community College. So I'm very excited about the Academic Success Center. We're going to pause now for these messages, and we'll be back with more of the President's Corner in just a moment.
If you need help paying for college or career school, the Office of Federal Student Aid might be your best option. We offer more than $150 billion to students each year in the form of grants, loans, and work-study funds. And federal student aid can be used to pay for school expenses, such as tuition, room and board, and books and supplies. After you've filled out the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, you'll receive an award letter from each school you list on your FAFSA. This letter explains both the federal and non-federal financial aid options that a school is offering you. So let's talk about federal aid. If you qualify for and receive a federal grant, you won't have to repay the money. That will definitely help offset the cost of school, but you may still need additional help. If so, a federal student loan might be your answer. Remember, a student loan is just like any other loan. It's borrowed money that will have to be repaid with interest. If you plan to take out a loan, consider federal student loans first. Compared to private student loans, federal student loans often have lower fixed interest rates and offer many benefits that you won't find otherwise. For example, when it's time for you to repay your federal student loan, your loan servicer can work with you to find the best repayment plan for your individual needs. Plus, you may be able to adjust your loan payments based on your income. You also may be able to defer your federal loan payments, deduct student loan interest on your taxes, and even consolidate your eligible federal student loans into one loan with one monthly payment. Federal loans can even be forgiven based on certain types of employment. Getting a work-study job is another great option to help pay for school. Eligible undergraduate and graduate students will be able to earn at least minimum wage. If you have questions or need assistance, you can contact the financial aid office at your college or career school or visit studentaid.gov for more information.
Welcome back to the President's Corner. I'm Paul Hutchins, president of Sampson Community College, and today I'm fortunate to have with me Donna Odum, the Director of Library Services here at the college. Now, Donna, I want to get you to talk a little bit now about some of the great things that we have happening in online classes. Part of your supervision responsibilities is over our online education here at the college. So talk about what we're doing in online education, if you would.
Okay. Marion Pope is the Director of Distance Learning at this time. She gave me some interesting facts and information about our distance learning program. But primarily the purpose of our distance learning program here at Sampson Community College is to provide access to quality education and instruction, and it's for both the traditional and the non-traditional students, and through various distance learning options. That includes our NC VIP courses, which are video over internet courses. We have an information highway room. Those classes can be streamed from other colleges, and then our students are able to ask questions. I know there was a geography class last semester. I visited that quite a bit, and it was quite interesting to see an instructor from Bladen Community College teaching our students, and so that is one option. But I would say probably the most prevalent and growing area are the online classes, and that's to be expected. We do have several online classes. We also have hybrid classes, which meet face-to-face, a combination of face-to-face and online. And then we have web-assisted courses. So all courses have some degree, of involvement with distance learning. It's interesting to note that in the fall of 2014, we had 35 online classes, and the fall of 2016, we have 84. So that's quite a growth. Matter of fact, the 2014-15 year, fall and spring, there were like 80. Last year, fall, spring, and summer, 152. So it almost doubled in that year. And we've already surpassed that number in just the fall and spring of this year. So when we factor in our summer online classes, I'm sure we will see a significant increase as well. So our online presence is really, really growing. And, you know, as that grows, I think we are going to need to provide more and more support to our distance learning students.
I think a lot of people think of, when they think of online coursework, they think that the people that are availing themselves to those online opportunities, that's the only way that they're continuing their education. But really, the majority of our online students also are taking on-campus courses. And the beauty of that, I think, is it allows so much flexibility in your schedule. If you've got 2 or 3 classes that you need to take during the day, and you wanted to add a couple of more classes, but because of your work schedule it makes it a little difficult to do that, you can supplement that with some online classes and really build a good schedule for students so they can be full-time and kind of move on toward completing the program that they're in.
Yeah,
So,
I do think that is one of the advantages of the online courses. And many of our students, I do see them quite a bit. They're taking online and face-to-face classes, and they're in, and that really enables them to, like you said, design a schedule based around their working conditions, their home life, and all that.
absolutely. Now, a little earlier I asked you to kind of look back and talk about how the library at a community college had changed, and now I'm going to ask you to kind of look to the future a little bit, Donna, and what do you think are going to be some of the dramatic differences if we look 5, 10, 15 years into the future at a community college library? What would your prediction be about that?
That's quite interesting. It's really hard to predict because, with our world is changing so rapidly. We can foresee that I feel like the community college library is really going to play a big part in taking care of the digital divide between the haves and the have-nots. I think that we are able now to provide a lot of the resources so that everybody, no matter where they come from, has access to good quality resources. I do think I can foresee a library with no books or very few books.
Wow.
As collections are more digitized and they're using spaces more for collaboration, for workspaces, for studying, and I can foresee fewer physical collections, more and more online resources, and more access to meeting spaces, so to speak. I also think that the role of online support is going to grow as our distance learning becomes more and more prevalent. So I do think that probably we're going to be redefining our mission to more access to providing access to the newest technologies. And that's really hard to envision. I'm not a digital native like the young learners are now, so it's hard for me to imagine that. But you're seeing a lot of the maker spaces, you're seeing the 3D printing in many libraries, and I know at State, the James B. Hunt Library, they have robotics that you select a book and the robot will actually go get that book for you, and it's very automated. So it'll be very interesting to see. But I can see that the collections will be declining, but the services, I think we're going to be more customer service oriented and more technology based than ever before.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, let me get you now to talk for just a minute to either current students or perhaps people in the community that would like to get in touch with you about some of the best ways for them to contact you about more information about Sampson Community College's library services.
Okay. I always tell everyone, please feel free just to drop in. I'm here every day from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Of course, we do close at 4 on Friday, so that's a little bit shorter. So feel free to drop in. You can also call the college and ask for the library extension, which is 5001, or you can email me at dodum sampsoncc.edu. So any of those is fine. Probably email is the best way to reach me, because I do check my email quite frequently. You know, if you called my office phone, I might not be in, but I keep my access to email with me all the time. So that's probably the best way. Odum@sampsoncc.edu.
Okay. Well, Donna, I want to thank you for the great leadership that you provide to our library and the great work that you do here to support students. And it's been wonderful having the opportunity to visit with you this afternoon. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. Hutchins. I appreciate the opportunity.
And thank you for joining us for this month's edition of the President's Corner. We'll see you again next month.